Time figuring out. Give me your bag though.
I already know my initial.
You have to be balanced.
Question came to my mind.
Phil had wanted to show me this labyrinth. It's at the Forest Lawn in the cemetery in Glendale. It was one of his last days in LA, and leading into the new year, it actually ended up being perfect timing. But basically, you ask yourself a question as you enter into it, and it's this long circular maze. And by the time you get to the center, it's as if your question, you'll know the answer, which I think is so beautiful, and it was really fun. Okay, good morning. We're gonna do little part 2, recalibration. I think it'll be a sweet little day. It's so foggy this morning. It feels like snow. It's like kind of eerie, but also kind of nice. I kind of want to start a fire again, so I might do that because I just feel so obsessed with having a fire going. Gonna start the morning out with a meditation with the help of Open. They're sponsoring a portion of today's video, which is amazing. I love working with them. It has been really cool to see how much my progress and just process with meditation and breathwork have changed and evolved, which feels really cool. I have become such a big fan and notice such a huge difference in my life. They're doing their nervous system reset again for the new year, so they have a whole new one for 2025. It has sounds by James Blake and just a whole new program to help you reset for the new year. I really love how much information around nervous system health and regulation they have embedded into the program. I think it makes it really, really easy to follow along and progress with over the 21 days of the program. And I just find it really helpful no matter like what level you're at or your experience with it. Yeah, if you're interested, you can click the link in my description box. It'll give you 30 days free, which will also give you access to the nervous system reset. That was nice. Actually kind of put my headspace in a better place. Go figure. Quick rundown. This is more vibes. Maybe in the next video I'll do
more logistics goals, whatever, but I think these are kind of some words that stood out to me that I would like to use these words as energy to like hit the goals, you know, if that makes sense. The energy I want behind any of the goals I'm hitting. The first one that keeps coming up for me is self-possession, which I think at some point in time I like maybe would confuse that with being self-absorbed, but to me it really has. And it's funny, I hadn't heard that word in so long, and then I heard it like 5 times in the span of 2 days a few weeks ago, and it was just following me around. And it really is like intrinsic motivation, which I think is the biggest like comeback that I would like to come back to consistently. That reminder to be in my own energy, do things because I genuinely enjoy them and want to do them, and just like touches every area of my life, and like really being in my own energy in a nice circulatory way, and just so deeply because I like chasing external validation, which it's so human to do that, but it also is just like the biggest losing game that you'll ever play. It's like the game you'll never win it. Yeah, it just makes me feel excited to do things just because I find joy in them, and that's my expression, outside of like how that is being received, I suppose. The next one is openness. I feel like I've maybe put this on at some point in time. The little bird I have that's tattooed on my sternum is from this little red bird that says openness on it, but just another reminder of like reopening my energy to places and people and experiences, opportunities. It's so interesting how I can really tell when I am closed off, and like in the snap of like a reminder of like, ah, yes, this is something that you wanted to be open to, I can completely shift and have a different experience. And that just takes like, I think, a practice of being like feeling honestly, my nervous system regulated is like a really good way to feel open to new things. The next one, decision, being decisive, no more indecision as much as I can. I really would like to just chop down decisions this year. I had this really intense dream 2 nights ago. It's always the pregnancy dreams. They're always the most intense and most scary for me. And I won't go into full detail because it was quite intense, but very much dealt with having like extreme like warmth around a decision, and then like it turning into like a complete nightmare, like last second, can't do it, like really intense. And I woke up being like, whoa, that's such a manifestation of this feeling of thinking I'm all in for something, and then at the last minute being like, no, never mind, like can't, don't want to do it, whatever. And just like that torturous back and forth is something that I don't wish to bring into this new year. And the last word that really stood out to me is brave. I hadn't thought about being brave or like the word brave in so long, and it just popped into my head the other day, and I don't know, I found it very nice, and I found it empowering in a way to cultivate more of that, of seeing something that is scary and not backing down from it, and just actively being like, oh, I'm gonna be brave and like do the thing that makes me a little uncomfortable or scared, or that I've been like putting off because of some perceived threat. And I think that that's nice. So I've been thinking about that a lot. For like outs, things that I would have been, you know, I think all of these kind of cultivate against this, but just denial and avoidance. I've been thinking about the word denial a lot for the past 2 weeks. Those kind of go hand in hand, and maybe they'll mean certain things to you, and I don't need to go into them, but I really like to integrate some like very solid routines, especially for like the next month or two. Some small things that I'll go over maybe a little bit later, but wanted to put the vibe out for the next year. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No. That's a 0.
4.
That's a 0.
0.
Okay, I'm doing it at the same time. Go.
magic beans. I don't know why, but I decided a long time ago that they're lucky. A Christmas present I'm really excited about. I picked out the Essential New York Times cookbook, so it has all, like, just so many recipes. Maybe the only cookbook I would buy that doesn't have photos, but I thought it was nice to have, like, an actual compilation of, like, very classic, solid, tried and true, tested recipes that I'm very excited to cook them this year. Okay, let's make this flaxseed gel while I still have some light. I think it's better if you use whole flax seeds, but I only have ground. I think it'll just be harder to strain it, but I think it's okay. It's like supposed to be snotty. Ugh. Okay, another piece of the puzzle that I was thinking about as I was cleaning. Also, it's so funny how sometimes you really just can't listen to your mind when it takes over. I felt like I was cleaning and I kind of caught myself ruminating so heavily, and then I was like, wait a second. Why are you spending your time thinking about this? Like, is this gonna solve the issue if you just are completely in your head right now just thinking about how something is wrong, like, whatever? And then I did snap out of it, and now I feel like in a perfectly good mood, but for a good, like, hour and a half there, I was, like, so doomsday worst case scenario. So funny. Secondly, was thinking, and I know I've spoken on this before, but if you deal with any type of existential crisis of sorts, just getting so clear on the why of, like, why you want to do your goals, like, why you want to hit something, why you want to be a certain way. I just feel like that goes such a far way for me when I feel like I can't really quite get myself in motion, or I'm doing something and I just feel, like, lackluster about it, like I don't have very much energy behind it. And oftentimes if I, like, come back to what my purpose was in the first place, I'm like, oh yeah, this does matter to me and this feels important again. If I just re-clarify, like, why I do the things I do, or why I feel called to make what I make, or why I want to do anything. It gets lost so easily. So I'm just gonna write about that. And I wrote why. Okay, I've been very into making, like, hot cacao and reishi. So, like, a little hot cocoa, a little maple syrup is, like, such a yummy little treat at the end of the night. I cleaned everything pretty much, and I'm gonna take a bath, drink this, put the flax seed gel on my hair. That sounds nice. And on my face. Super gooey. Kind of perfect. But this was a good, nice little few recal days, you know? Super recal. I kind of want to put, like, rose in it. I bet I could. Yeah, that might be so yummy. I wonder if it'll essence enough in that amount of time. They're also kind of old. Lighting in here sucks. So gooey. My hair has been going through it because I did something silly and went off a medication to test it, and then all my hair started falling out. So then I went back on it, but not after I lost a lot of hair, which was really quite terrifying. Okay. Yummy goo.
So nice to be slathered in like hydrating goo.